Welcome, Lauren Smith. Smith. Is that correctly in English? Smith.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Would you say
I
would
was.
you say like Smythe or something?
I would say Smith.
Yeah, it's
Smith.
correct.
Smith. 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 Okay, that's fine. Lauren Smith. First, I wanted to say welcome, Lauren Weeks, but of course, you are not
Could be
Lauren Weeks.
Lauren
You
Weeks, could be Lauren Griffith. We've got a lot of
correct.
Laurens in our sport.
A lot of Lawrence, yes. But probably you are the best and you are the legend when it comes to when it comes to journalism and when it comes to reporting and doing commentary stuff. Before I start and give some statistics about your person, please introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, I'm Lauren Smith, not Lauren Weeks or Lauren Griffith. Um, I guess, what do I say? I live in Cardiff in South Wales. I grew up in England. I work in multi-sport in broadcast journalism. And and as I tell everyone, first and foremost, I am a CrossFitter who has found Hyrox and is loving every single second of the journey.
Before I jump into any statistics, what is better, CrossFit or Hyrox?
I'm absolutely not answering that.
Why? Because of
Equal
your job
footing.
or?
No, because
Oh, okay.
if you know anything about my job, Florian, is that I will permanently sit on a fence and have very little opinion on anything. And I have found two sports now that are similar but different and are equally unbelievable to be a part of.
Okay, so you already said that you live in Cardiff, and that's also the city where you studied. You have a bachelor's
Yeah,
degree in journalism. You did that in 2012. That means you already have at least 12 years of experience as a TV host, reporter, commentary girl, whatever we call it. Um, but you said you don't answer the question what's better. You already have three races in Hyrox under your belt. You did one race in Chicago, one race in London, and you did a mixed relay in Vienna.
have indeed.
And big surprise with the Vienna race, you came on the podium, right?
Yes. I don't think
Why
that was
is it so
anything to do
funny?
with me, Florian. I think that was everything to do with my teammates.
No, I don't think so. I think that's wrong.
I don't know. Did you see the breakdown? I'm pretty sure it's to do with my rather epic teammates. I got carried to a podium.
I don't think so. I think you are also. I mean, I saw you did a CrossFit workout today, right?
Yeah, well, I train every day. I train every day.
So you couldn't be that bad. And I think you're very fit as well.
That's very sweet of you. I am by no means an elite athlete, but I love to train and it's given me so much to my life. So the fact that, like, honestly, that podium was so unexpected. Like, that was just us going out having a good time. And then it was like, oh, yikes. We've made the podium.
Did that also mean that you qualified for World
No,
Championships?
I don't think so.
Is there something, I don't even know, to be very honest, is there something like a World Champs for the relay?
Not that I'm aware of. It's yeah, I don't. We definitely didn't qualify for anything more important than where we were coming, and we were third. It wasn't like we won; like we were third. And when I say we, I mean Antonia was third.
Do you think she was alone racing during the whole race? No.
I don't know. I think she might have carried us as um, our ringer who jumped in and helped last minute when we were down a man, and we just found this wonderful gentleman who won the burpees and came second in the wall balls and went unbroken.
Not bad.
Legend.
So,
But long
absolutely
story
legend,
short,
yes.
that was my relay experience, and it was great, and nothing is ever going to live up to that experience. But
Oh, really?
oh, it was so good. It was like at the end of Vienna, we'd had a great weekend, and we were like, should we just do the relay? Oh, we don't have a man. Should we just go find a man? Found a man, ended up on the podium. Absolutely wonderful.
And I was thinking about asking you to do a double mix with me together.
Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. You'll wipe my
Will
floor,
you?
wipe the floor with me. My running is dreadful.
Doesn't matter, mine as well.
Good. Okay, that's
I'm
fine. Because Greg from the Rocks Life, Greg Williams asked me to do
yes.
doubles, and I was like, Greg,
Oh,
your running is so good. Like, I'm not sure we can. I make up my contribution is
mm,
the sleds, the ergs, the wall balls. But if you kill me on a run, I can't do any of those things.
but it's for fun, so
No, exactly,
probably
exactly. It's
he
always for
would
fun.
take it. I already said to you earlier, you should do the interview now with
I
me
should interview
because
you.
yeah, because you are the professional person here. I did some research and I found, I think it's your website,
Probably.
and I was pretty intimidated because I just saw, yes, I just checked your resume and also your skills. Let me read your skill.
Oh no.
I do have it here. So
Every time
the
you lift
skill
your
is,
phone up, I only see white. So
oh really? Wait a
yes.
second. Still white,
Yeah,
right?
your camera does not have that level
Uh,
of contrast. But I'm excited to see what you're going to come up with.
okay. Lauren can self-shoot and edit on a variety of hardware and software.
I can.
She can record voiceover remotely in addition to producing and hosting podcasts.
I can indeed.
I am intimidated.
So, long story short, if you want to be content slash broadcast journalism nowadays, you need to be multifaceted because that's how you get value for money if you're an employer, right? So, if you need me, I will present your live show, but then I'll go out and I'll shoot and edit a load of content afterwards as well.
So you also do the editing right after,
No,
but not for
not for
Hyrox.
Hyrox. Like, obviously, we've got Fabi, who's a total master.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I certainly can. It's not my favorite thing to do, if I'm being brutally honest. I love being on camera, being in the thick of it, and I love shooting. Editing, editing is kind of like that thing you have to do then to turn everything around to get it out to the world.
Sadly, yes, it's a very hard thing to do, but
And I'm
learning
nowhere
by
near as good as
doing.
the people who are good at it.
Learning by doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have been
Okay,
doing it for a while though.
and I already I warned you, kind of gave you a warning. I will shoot 10 questions to you. I prepared 10 questions and I was like, okay, guys, let's do it. One question each. So I do a question, you do a question. I
Okay,
do a
good. I
question. Are
prepared
you?
no questions. So we're just going to see
Oh,
how that goes.
well, you have probably 1,000 questions of experience in your mind. As a gentleman, I am a gentleman. I would say you can start. You can do the start.
Oh, we want to kick off with the questions.
Yes, you can, of course, right away.
Okay.
Okay, I would do the first one for you because I
Okay.
don't want. No, you want to do?
I can do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Florian, would you rather fight
Oh.
one horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses? It's going to tell me a lot about you.
Is this like a psychological question? And
I'm
or
going to learn
what?
all I need to know by the answer to this question.
Okay, you
Do
have
you
to,
think you
but
can
you
take
have
on a horse-sized duck
or 10.
or 10 little horses?
Sorry, this is so funny. I go with 10 little horses.
Why?
Oh, that's a second question.
Oh, curveball.
Because I am more able to do multitasking, I guess, than doing one big task at once. Probably, I don't know, but
Do you
my
value
feel
your
it.
shins? Because I think your shins would be goners. You know, what shoes are you going to wear when you take on your duck-sized horses? You know, how do you
Okay.
manage that situation?
I have no idea, but what I would do is I would wear this headband right now,
Oh,
embrace the suck, and I would go straight forward into the fight. I'm ready for a fist fight with some ducks. Absolutely.
technically some
Well,
horses.
yes, or horses. What? Yeah, I would say the small horses.
Yeah, and then round them up and keep them.
But what does this say about me now? Please give me an explanation.
No,
I
it's
am
interesting
really
to see
curious
your
about it.
mentality of why you think that might be the better option than the big duck.
But what does this say about my mentality? What would you say if I would said like I would rather fight a lion?
Well, then it means total curveball. You ignored the question and decided on your own outcome. If you were fighting the big duck, I'd say you're willing to take on very large challenges. Whereas if you fight the little horses, then maybe you're a better person at like breaking up the challenge, taking things step by step, one at a time. More methodical in your
Yeah,
approach to challenges. But that
that's
is also, I could just be making all that up.
that's interesting. I think I just thought about it like I would rather have a chance against 10 little horses because I'm not the biggest guy and I'm probably not the strongest, but I am fast and
Agile.
yeah.
I'd take the little horses because I really like horses. So
Okay.
I would corral them like country western style and then keep
Mm.
them as pets.
Oh, that's nice as pets. Do you have pets anyways?
I do.
Like
I have a
at
cocker
home?
spaniel. She's my life. I love her so
Okay.
much.
Well, I will give you a very simple question first of all, just to start with. And how do you drink your coffee? It's two questions. How do you drink your coffee? Of course, I have to ask this. And how many coffee did you have today?
I feel like anyone who's listened to this requires background story to this question. In that every time we do Champs and Coffee, the broadcast for Hyrox, next one coming out this week, by the way, Fabi's cutting it at the moment, I get chastised for drinking milk in my coffee, which I feel is, if you're not an athlete, like I don't pretend to be an athlete here. Like I am a broadcast journalist who looks after her health to a certain extent by training, but I'm not an athlete. I like milk in my coffee. It makes it luxurious and nice. And in answer to your question, I've had 3 today.
What a crime.
What a
Milk in your
crime.
coffee.
Black coffee, like I have to be in real trouble to be drinking black coffee.
Okay, what kind of trouble?
Like it's the only thing available. I'm super tired. Or I'm in France and it's the only thing they offer you because the French love a shot of espresso. Like I have to be like in
Yes.
a real like kind of like boxed into a corner situation to drink black coffee.
Okay, fair point. You are the next. Like,
Oh,
next
my next
question's
question.
up to
Okay.
you.
Why did you start a podcast?
Well, that's pretty simple. I did the interviews like since the like more or less since the very beginning on Hyroxdaily on the account on Instagram, and I always did the interviews live on a live show. And it just makes sense to do them like um offline and load them up to YouTube because on Instagram I don't think that any people would watch a video interview on Instagram as soon as it is online. So, and I'm doing the interviews anyways, and then I was like, okay, why not just taking the audio out of it and just putting up to Spotify as well? Because basically it's just 2 in 1, you know? It doesn't give me any more work to do. So it's
Yeah.
just take the audio and up to Spotify. That's it. And a lot of people were asking me, Flo, why didn't you do a podcast yet? Why don't you do it? Blah, 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 blah. And I was tired of that. And I was just like, okay, why not? Probably only 50 people will hear that anyway. I don't know.
It doesn't matter though, because we do it because we love it, right?
Yeah, right. And it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. Like doing all those interviews through the last years, I've met so many people and I got to know so many athletes and coaches from all over the world. And this is something what for me personally is the most important part of all of that. Just getting to know new people. Like look at the sign up here from Lauren Weeks, for example. I have another one with Ronchewicz and Sandy, another one with Rich Ryan, Megan Jacoby, and this is like people from all over the world are more or less friends with me right now. At least Hyrox friends, you know.
Friends with you right now. In the future. that's,
Uh,
that's such a funny expression.
Never say never. Maybe if I would lose the fight against some
Some
gigantic
duck-sized
ducks or
horses.
horses,
Right now
maybe they
they'd
would
come to
cut
your
me off.
funeral, but in the future maybe not.
Okay,
I bet you're so glad that you invited me onto this podcast.
I am. It's a very nice chat. The only problem is we have to hurry up because I can tell you this, my laptop already is at 60%, and I don't know why this whole program here is wasting so much energy on the laptop.
Oh no, it
and I
does. It's the
only
same if you have editing software. It goes like 5 times as fast.
it's crazy, and I only have one cable, and I'm using this one cable right now to connect the laptop with my camera, so I cannot charge the laptop at all. That's why we have to hurry up. But I think we will go through. We will get through this. So my question, well, this question you already answered more or less. It was like, what do you like more, CrossFit or Hyrox? You do not give an answer on that. So I am
I like them
jumping to
both
the next.
equally, Flo. Like they both provide really like exciting things in my life.
Okay, that's
It
fair.
doesn't need to be one or the other. I don't understand why it needs to be one or the other.
Well, even though you are married, that's why I was asking. I want to know three red flags in a man,
Oh, that's a fun
or
question.
or in a potential partner.
I also absolutely love how much you have stalked me in the last 24 hours. I want your
In the
listeners to
last
to
two
be
hours,
aware of how much and how deep you've gone into my background.
of course.
Red flags. Okay. Um, ooh, loudly chewing food is like a personal red flag, I think. Um, I'm not a big fan of like overconfidence in a general day-to-day setting. I think it has its place potentially in sport, but day to day. And not wearing socks
When
when you go out, when you're wearing your brown loafers, like it's a proper English person thing to do. When you don't wear socks, I find
no
sometimes
socks at all.
trainers like please just wear socks. Just wear little socks. Just wear some form of sock.
Yeah, there are those like very tiny little socks, like
Yeah, you
you
just wear the
can't
little
see them, but
socks.
you cannot see them, but they are there.
Are
That's a
you
difference.
trying to say you're not wearing any socks right now?
Wait, I do. I have the best socks. Oh man, it's gymnastics right now. Can you see this?
Get that
No, you
leg up
can't.
there. Oh,
Ah, that's high.
did Hogan give you those?
No, but fun fact about the Hogans. Wait a second. This is better, I think. Ha.
Oh my gosh. Get that leg in the air.
Yeah. And I'm injured myself by doing this.
Yeah, there goes your hamstring.
Yes. No, the Hogans didn't give it to me, but guess where I will be tomorrow?
At the Hogans, I know you will.
Yes, they. Who told you?
Because they invited me as well, and unfortunately I can't go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would have loved to have been there. I love those guys. They're
Oh, what a
brilliant.
shame. Yes, we could have drink a real coffee, like a black one. I would introduce you to the world of drinking real coffee.
Oh, they drink so much more than black coffee in Ireland. I can tell you that for
Yeah,
free.
probably.
Other
Okay.
black drinks,
Um, yeah, all the beer, right? Whiskey and beer.
Guinness. Yeah, Irish
Well, I have
coffee.
no.
That's
I
their
have
version.
okay. I have no experience with drinking beer and whiskey, so
No, because you're an
uh,
athlete.
yes, right, absolutely. In my peak shape. Can't you see those guns?
I can see that. Yeah, I can
Overconfidence.
see
Red
them
flag. Deet, deet, deet. Red flag is
in certain circumstances.
right. Okay, it's your time
My
for the
question.
next
Okay.
question.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live and why?
Ooh. So first of all, it must be a warm place, sunshine, and it must be, yeah, it just must be warm. I think Hawaii is pretty. I have never been to Hawaii. Mm, but the problem or the issue with Hawaii is that it's like, yeah,
A
it's
long way away.
completely long, long, long way. It's completely isolated. So that's a hard question, but I would go with Hawaii because they have a beautiful landscape. The climate there is very nice and warm. And I personally think that the people on Hawaii are very chill and very relaxed.
Yeah, we like chill and relaxed.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be a beautiful place to live.
What about you?
Oh, I would.
Cardiff.
I actually love Cardiff. I really like it down here, but I would live in either Koh Tao in Thailand because I
Oh
lived
yeah.
there for a short while when I was younger, working as an underwater videographer. I had a flat, I had a little moped, and I cruised. I loved that life. I came back for university. So, like, yeah, randomly at the age of 18, I just decided I was going to live in Thailand for a year. That was great. But maybe nowadays, like, if it was to do with my job as well, I would like to live in either France or Austria
Why?
because I adore rural France and I love the accent and it's the language I speak the best out of the European languages. Not very well, just to clarify, really not very well, but at least I'm a bit more familiar with it than I am with, say, German or Swiss French, blah, blah, blah. And Austria because Salzburg is one of the most beautiful places on earth, as is the mountains. I am a wholehearted mountain person. I want to live in the mountains. So somewhere in
Oh,
the Alps, I imagine.
okay, so you're living on an island like the UK, right? That's surrounded by water.
It's quite a big island, the UK.
Yeah, it is, but it's still an island. Surrounded by water, and the question would have been like mountains or ocean, and you go with the mountains.
Yeah, my husband's ocean though. So we're at the ocean right now. We're walking distance to the beach where I am right now.
Oh, that's nice. Is
So
it a good
we're
one?
very close to the sea. And actually, I guess if you go like 40 minutes north, you're at the Brecon Beacons, which is a small kind of like somewhere between a hill and a mountain range. I think it's a mountain. I'm not totally sure.
Okay, well, I live by the ocean as well. It's also just 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but you do live by the North Sea, and I do live more by the Baltic Sea.
Yes. Where are you?
In Flensburg, it's like directly next to Denmark.
Yeah, I do like that area.
So I was wondering because you texted me Danke, and now you are telling me you are speaking a few European languages. Do you speak
No.
German?
I really don't speak. I don't speak a lot of European languages, but I work with a lot of European teams. I spent the last 4 years working with Red Bull TV, who are based in Salzburg. The entire team is Austrian or German, and then like it's almost it's natural for me to, and obviously the Hyrox team is all German. So like it's almost like a natural reaction now to like say hello and thank you and goodbye and in German.
Do you know any German words besides that?
Um, Schöne Scheiße?
What? Again?
Schöne Scheiße?
Yeah, that was not bad. Schöne Scheiße. Not bad. We take it.
Yeah.
We take it.
No, I know very little German. In fact, it's probably the language I should learn.
It's a hard language to learn, especially the grammatics, it's the grammar.
I did it in school up until the age of like 14 and I got an
Oh
A.
wow.
It was my strongest language until I dropped it. And then in high school, I continued to take French and it was one of the hardest subjects I had in school.
So, dann können wir auch auf Deutsch weiterreden. Verstehst du mich, wenn ich mit dir auf Deutsch rede? Wenn ich jetzt einfach so weiterreden würde?
No, not a clue.
Do you know?
Whereas
Okay.
I think if you said that in French, I might have understood it. But I'm not conversation. Like I'm basic German, and then I understand a few TV words. So if it was in context, I might get the gist.
Oh yeah,
But I'm not about to be able to decipher that.
I understand. Okay. I was just asking if you would understand me if I keep going with German, with the German language, with speaking German. Is it my turn or is it your turn for the next
I don't
question?
know. Who knows? You know, sometimes they call this a conversation.
Oh, I don't like conversations at all. I like to avoid people.
Bodes well as a podcast host, right? I asked you about where you would live. So, and then you
Yeah,
asked me a few questions
and
back, but I don't know if it was your prepared questions.
we call no, it wasn't. We called it conversation, Lauren. Just saying. I'm just going with the
Noted.
flow. Okay, I think I have a good question for you. If you could invite any person to dinner, who would it be? Give me 3 persons. It could also be historical persons
I
who
wish you had given
are
me this in advance.
who who are already dead. like whoever it is.
So I literally got asked this question, but in a different format, approximately an hour ago. If I was racing doubles, who would I race with and why? And there was sheer panic on my end. So is this the same situation? Like, I need to think about this, and I probably need like
So,
lists of people.
so
Like,
you're panicking now?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you know what?
Who
We will.
I would no, actually, I think I can do this. Taylor Swift is my number one because
Of
I am a
course, it's
big
Taylor.
Swiftie, and she's a legend, and she's gone up even more in my estimation now. She's into NFL. Um, yes, big fan of Swiftie. Number two, Michael Jordan, maybe. Interested to hear about his life, how he dealt with the fame, and also he's just a legend. I reckon he'd be fun. And then I need like a fun, like a. I mean, you know, Taylor's going to be fun, but you need like another fun person to bring the hype up. Um. Oh, who's really good? Maybe like a comedian. Like who would be fun to have around? Who's like one of the best?
What
No,
is his
I'm not.
name?
I'm
I
not a
love
big
him.
Gervais
Ricky.
fan. I don't
You
mind it. I
not?
love that he loves dogs, Ricky Gervais, but his
I love his
comedy.
humor. I love
His
it.
comedy is a bit dark, like it's a bit too much of me. Like every so often, I'm like, "Oh, you can't say that."
Exactly, and that's why I love it. He's just this guy has no limits at all, and I like
Oh,
it. I love it.
do you know who Carl Pilkington is?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so Carl Pilkington is he kind of does comedy series in the UK, but he's basically travels and he's very bad at traveling. He can't deal with traveling and he's very
Oh,
dry and very outrageous and very funny. So maybe like Carl Pilkington. Um, and a fun side note is when my mum watched me presenting last year or 2 years ago, she was like, "Oh, Lauren, it was so nice to see you on TV. You reminded me of Carl Pilkington." Please Google that and realize how outrageous that was to come out of my mother's mouth.
okay. I will do right after
Like,
this
that was
podcast.
not a compliment. No one wants to be Carl Pilkington. You just want him at dinner.
Because he doesn't look good, or why?
It's hard to explain. He's just a
Okay,
law unto himself. Google like the best clips of Carl Pilkington and see what
okay,
comes up and see if it in any way makes you think of how I present sport.
okay. That's what I'm going to do. 100%. I think it's your time for a question, right?
My question. Okay.
But we will make it happen with Taylor Swift. I will just
If you could
when
just
I
give her
do
a call and just be like, "Yo,
yes,
Lauren really
and
wants to meet you."
I will tag her and she will see it. She will say, "I need Lauren in my life."
If it's not Taylor, I'll take Kelsey. I'll take I'll take the football player. That's fine.
All right.
Um, if you weren't covering Hyrox, what would be the sport you'd cover and why?
Hmm, that's a good one. It would be probably kind of CrossFit stuff because I think it's similar to Hyrox, but as you said earlier, it's similar but different. And CrossFit was a sport which introduced me into the whole hybrid race thing, like hybrid fitness in
So you
general.
didn't come from OCR?
No. My background was soccer. I played soccer for 20 years, and then I just did some bodybuilding
Some
stuff,
of the worst
strength,
sport, soccer.
some random bodybuilding stuff, and the typical gym bro sessions.
Yeah.
And at some point, I found out about CrossFit. I was never active in the CrossFit box. For myself, I never did CrossFit or trained CrossFit seriously, but I love watching CrossFit. I love Tia Claire Toomey, Matt Fraser, Rich Froning, all of the big stars, Danielle Brandon, and even the younger generation right now. Mel O'Brien, she sadly dropped out a little bit of competition because of different reasons, but I love watching all the content around it. I love, for
Hey, you're
example,
pretty across it.
yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
I like
kind of.
what is his name? The Hustlemate podcast, Hustlemate
Harry
video
Ritchie.
show. Kerry Ritchie. I
Yeah.
like his content. I love the Buttery Bros. Like
Yeah.
they are doing the best documentaries on the planet. I've watched all of them, and I don't know. Right now, look at this. This is the second book from Tia Claire Toomey,
Yeah.
and it's called "The Heart is the Strongest Muscle." And I'm reading this right now.
Nice.
Like I have Sam Briggs as well. I have the Katja. What's her name?
Katrin
The
Davis
daughter, Catherine David's daughter, Samantha, Matt Fraser. Like all of them. I'm pretty interested in those athletes. And
Do you know
this
what's really
is
cool? If we think about
Tell me.
timelines of sport and where these guys were, now they're producing books to where they started. That's where we are with Hyrox right now. And like some of our big names in Hyrox right now, in 8 years' time, are going to be the names on those
Right.
books. Like
And
Megan
that's
Lauren will have a book.
all of them. Absolutely. I will have a book, of course.
You might have a book.
Hopefully.
Maybe after our doubles appearance.
Oh, 100%. This is a game changer. This will skyrocket both of us.
Yeah, that's our careers made.
100%.
Puma endorsement deals. Red Bull athletes, we're in.
Yes, 100%. But I absolutely agree with you. I think we are right now where CrossFit was in 2009, 2010. Maybe 2010 to 2012, somewhere. Because the development of Hyrox is pretty fast.
It's been very
growing
fast.
crazy. And I am into the game since the beginning, since 2017, when they hosted the very first event ever. The name was a little bit different back in the days, but the real Hyrox, how we know it now, I think is just 1.5 years old. Make it 2. The last 1.5 years was crazy, and it seems to grow even faster the next years. My opinion on that.
I'm excited.
Me too, and that's why
Because
absolutely.
I'm arguably like a fair newbie to this. Like I knew about it since 2019. I did a podcast with Mo back in the
Yes,
day
with Mo and
in,
Imke.
in around 2019 before it came to the UK. But I've only really been here since World Champs last year, like in a more hands-on kind of way. And I've loved it. It's been great.
Right. Is it your question now, or is it my question now?
You have to keep asking, and we should really just drop. We should just drop this and have a. No,
That's fine.
I asked you. So you
Conversation.
I am due a question.
What did you ask me? What
I
was
asked
it?
you
Ah,
what
yeah,
sport you would do, and you told me CrossFit.
That was a good question. I should take more creatine. Creatine is good for the memory. Fun
It's also
fact
like
about
it's supposed to be like
creatine.
8:30 at night where you are. You must be bedtime.
It's not 8:30. It is 8:30, but I go to bed around 11.
Outrageous.
Yes. But this time, like tomorrow, I have to get up at 4 a.m. because I have to drive to the airport and
Oh, and you have to go to Ireland. Oh, what a nightmare.
what a nightmare. Going to Ireland to the Hogans and having a cool weekend with them. Ugh.
You'll have fun. I'm sorry I can't be there.
Right. So I have a good question. The next one. If you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh. I honestly, actually, that probably hits home a little bit more nowadays than it maybe did before. I think it would be your job doesn't define you. So you need to be comfortable with the person that you are outside of things that you think make you who you are. So that's family, it's friends, it's, your extracurricular activities and your social circles. It's not that you are the mountain bike presenter, that you are the rugby presenter, because jobs fluctuate, and most of the time it's major business decisions that have little or no regard at all for your personal situation. So don't define yourself by what you do. Define yourself by the people you're around and the energy you give off, and who you are as a person. Try and find your identity in that, as opposed to an external source.
So as a famous person, and as I would say you are like in the
It's the
area, you
biggest
are
quote
like
I've ever heard.
I think you are kind of famous, of
I'm
course,
not
and
famous at all.
as a TV host and reporter and journalist, you have like covered lots of stuff from the CrossFit Games, and you're telling me now that you are not defined by your job.
No, I totally am, and
Did
that's kind of the problem. Like
right? Did that happen? Did that happen
yes.
to you
I
that
mean,
people judged
the
you
best
based
the
on your job?
it's not that you're judged, it's that like I define myself by my job, right? Like I define myself as the mountain bike reporter for many, many years, and then a decision way above my head, like someone like way up in the upper echelons of the business, decided that the contract was going to move from Red Bull TV to another broadcaster. And we were just collateral. Me and the team I worked with, the Red Bull team, we were just collateral. Like cast aside, we didn't get brought along because it's a different broadcaster. So this thing that you give your life to for a really long period of time, and that effectively you kind of you are that like I was like Red Bull's mountain bike reporter. That's kind of like how I saw myself. That's how people saw me and how people knew me. And then suddenly that's just gone, and you're like, oh, what am I now? And it actually took me a really long time to like become comfortable with the fact that I was no longer this version of myself. So yeah, it's something that I learned recently. And like I made me realize that actually maybe it's you need to be a bit more pragmatic when it comes to your job versus your life. And it's really like I'm nightmare for it. Like I adore work. Work is like the thing that gets me most excited because my job's so awesome, and I've fought a really long time to be able to do what I do now. Like I always wanted to be a presenter or work in sport, and I've ever since I was, I would say, choosing my A levels, I've worked towards this. So what's that, like 20 odd years? So it's very hard for me to be like, oh, I'm nothing to do with my job, because I am so wholly emotionally invested in my job. But my advice to my younger self is maybe don't be so invested, but it's definitely easier said than done, especially when you find teams like Hyrox that this has been amazing. Like this has been such an incredible ride. I feel like I found what I lost in mountain biking with these guys, because they're epic and we're traveling the world together, having the best time with the coolest crew of people, and it's awesome. But I've got to try not to be too like.
No, that's totally fine. But does it actually feel like work at all when
No,
you do
never.
those things with
It's not
them?
work.
No, right?
It's not work. Apart from the fact that I've got to pay my mortgage, it's not
Yeah.
work.
Oh, okay, that's fair. One last question. I would say it's your turn because
Okay.
my laptop is running out of energy. I have 20% left. That
Yeah, it's
should
okay.
be
We'll keep
enough.
going till it dies.
Okay.
Question to
But then the
you.
whole interview is gone
Oh
before I
yeah, don't
save
do
it.
that. Don't do that. You have to save
No,
it.
no, no, no.
We were going for 40 minutes. Okay, question to you. Dun, 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 dun. What's a good one to close out with?
Do
Oh,
you
I
have
wish you'd give
like
me.
on your smartphone or on your laptop, do you have like a pool of questions or no?
No, why would you think I have that?
I would say this is your tool to work with,
No,
like,
we wing it. We wing it.
Okay,
How do you think I
okay.
do the live streams? I think about it beforehand and then I just say it.
You don't prepare for live
Oh
streams,
no, I
like
absolutely
doing.
prepare, but I don't like have a list. I don't like hold a
Mm.
list. I just, it's just natural, right?
Oh,
Okay, what's my question to you? My question is, um, if you no, that's crap. That's a useless question. What's been your favorite moment covering the sport?
my absolute favorite moment is pretty easy. My absolute favorite moment was when Tobias Loudwine became world champion in Leipzig. At the finish line, we were. I am good friends with him. I was already visiting his family, and I lived with him for a few days and all those things. And this is my absolute. I can send you a picture if I find it later. And he became world champion, and he immediately started to cry out of happiness, and he came to me on the stage, like we were hugging each other, and I just take him and gave him a huge hug and told him, "Hey, I am super proud of you." And he was crying even more, and he was like, "Flo, I am so happy, I'm so proud." And this is my absolutely number one moment, and I think nothing will ever beat this moment, because number one, we can do something right now. It's absolutely okay for men to cry, in my opinion, even though they're happy, crying for happiness or crying for sadness. So we can do some, like, let's do, um, I don't even have the word for it, but it's okay for men to cry. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, of course.
Good. And yeah, this is my number one moment. That's it.
I too have had a gorgeous Tobias Lautfein moment at World
Tell me.
Championships where he cried
Which
on my
one?
shoulder.
Oh,
I love that man.
yeah.
Honestly,
With
like
what?
it just means so much when it means so much to them. Like that, I think that's a big thing with sport, right? Like as broadcasters, we're on this ride with them to a certain extent, but we don't go through the same trials and tribulations. But you can appreciate the sacrifice and the effort they've gone to make it to where they are. And I think for us, that's where the joy for us comes from. It's seeing someone else achieve their dreams. Like I cry at X Factor when someone makes it to the next stage. Like seeing people achieve their dreams really emotionally sets me off.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, but I agree with you. Like those athletes, when we talk about elite athletes, I talking a lot with them. I and you do the same. Like when just imagine they training like 20 to 25 hours a week, only training, and everything in their mind and in their life is created around that one goal, that end goal of going to the World Championships, winning the World Championships. Or I think everybody wants to win the World Championships in the game, everyone. Otherwise, they wouldn't compete in it, because
Yeah,
those
that's what
guys
drives
are
you.
right. They are athletes, and like Tobias Lautwein is a very good example. If you achieve that goal, the relief of this is really, I think it's like everything comes breaks down in yourself emotionally. I never had those moments in my life. Only one time when I played soccer, and we lost a very, very important game. It was a final match, and after that, I was crying in the locker room. But that was my younger self.
I don't think I've ever had that moment. Not for sport, but then
Only for X Factor.
only no, when other people do it, I'm like, I'm happy to admit I'm a crier. You know, like when other people do good things, I'm in tears.
Do
I've
you
had,
when you watch a sad movie? Do you cry?
oh yeah, it's the best thing about watching a
Absolutely.
sad movie.
Oh, really? The
Have a
crying?
little cry, get out the system.
Okay. Well,
I'm
I
trying
have
to, yeah, I'm
one.
not like a real hard person here. Like
Yeah,
I don't
you're very
know.
emotional.
I'm ballsy, but I'm soft inside.
Of course you are. You are Lauren Smith. Like
I
you're
know it cracks
drinking
me
your
up how you
coffee
say
with
my name.
milk.
I do. I drink my
Of
coffee with
course,
milk.
yeah, of course you're soft. I have a good question, the last one for today, and then I will leave you alone. Which was your absolute worst interview ever?
I've been asked that recently, actually.
Oh,
I,
really?
yeah, I can tell you what my worst interview ever was, and it was
This one.
yeah, God, there's just that awful podcast host. He made me ask questions, which is not the point. No, joking. Um, it was it was the first ever one I did, and the first one ever I did in a high pressure environment, and I was working for BT Sport, and someone dropped out last minute of the Anglo Welsh Cup final. So this is like a lower league rugby. It's not. It's like it's professional rugby, but it's like the second teams playing. Best way to describe it for the
Oh, yeah.
non-rugby amongst us. And I got through the pre-match interviews unscathed. That went really well. But this was my first ever time with like the in-ears on and like in an arena and people and the directors and everything. And I was so nervous. And it got to the player of the match. And I was so nervous that I don't think I'd actually really concentrated on the match. I was just nervous about what was coming up. And I went to ask my first question, and like nothing really came out. Like nothing good. And then I panicked. And I think I just said the word Six Nations because the guy was a Six Nations player for Scotland. I was like, it's not the Six Nations. Oh my God, it was dreadful. It was absolutely horrific. And I got completely bailed out. This is my first ever live experience as well. And I got bailed out by my amazing producer in my ear who gave me my first question. I got that out of my mouth. And then we were away. Then it was okay. We were in at that point. But oh my God, like the first time I ever did it live was the worst interview I have ever done personally, the worst experience of my life. It was horrific. The fact that I still got hired after that moment is a godsend. But yeah, it's a really weird one to explain to people. Like in this role, you know, you're expected to be immediately good. You only get hired if you're good. So therefore you need to be good from the off. There's no room to learn. I mean, it's a bit different now, maybe with the advent of podcasts and social media and that kind of stuff. But like, there's no room to learn. You have to be good or you get fired and you don't come back. It's really that simple. So I got really lucky that I had a few years in a company that helped me learn. And I think I'm in a very small minority of people who had that luxury. But yeah, that was the worst. It was dreadful. I never want to do it again.
Okay. You won't. You have more experience now. And
as you so eloquently put at the top of the show, I've been in this for about 12 years now and I got really old, but luckily I got much better.
Right. Experience is key. Getting older is key in everything. So,
is it?
At least for men, we are like a good wine. The older we are, the better we get.
Do you say men age like a fine wine? What about the women?
I have no idea about wine, but
we age well too.
You age like
Florian.
a grape. Of course, you are aging well. What a question.
Thank you.
Like women aging even better than men.
There we go. Now he's on the train.
Yes, and now I have to cut you off because my laptop is at 4%.
Save the interview. I'll see you next time.
I will. Very, very much fun. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it a lot. Really looking forward to meet you in maybe Cologne. Where will you be?
Yeah. Did you say you're close to Denmark? Are you coming to Copenhagen?
Yes, I will be in
Copenhagen. I'll see you in Copenhagen.
Perfect. So we will drink a coffee in Copenhagen.
Yeah, or a beer.
I don't drink alcohol. I'll stay with my coffee.
We're very different people.
Yes, but that's good. Sometimes it's good to be different, to get different views, right?
Anyway, save your stuff. Lovely to chat, and I will see you in Denmark.
See you in Denmark. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.